Hey, what's up guys, Davis here, and today we're doing my full review of the Samsung Galaxy A04s after the Android 13 update in 2023. Right, so the video is going to be in the format of pros and cons, so basically the things I like and the things I didn't really like about the phone. So we're going to start off with the pros. I think the main advantage of this phone I'm going to talk about is the software, and I think that's what it does better than most of its competitors at this price point. You know, One UI is really good across the board. Even this One UI core, you don't have ads, you don't have any of that, and this one is running Android 13, as you can see right here. So already got in that update, and most of the phones at this price point, for example from the likes of Techno, would likely not have gotten such an update. If the phone was released, for example, with Android 12, we wouldn't have gotten Android 13 this early, you know. So I think the software is really one of the biggest advantages of this phone, and even just the UI itself, like when you're scrolling through, it's really smooth. Everything is really nice. You don't have ads. That's a very good thing at this price point. When you are core, you also have all the multitasking features. You can get the likes of pop-up and this split screen mode. Really good when you are 5 core. It's really good. I think that's the biggest advantage of this phone, and you're going to continue getting updates for a long time when you purchase it, or at least for the next 3 years, you know. So you're good to go for a very long time. So that's one of the major advantages of the Samsung Galaxy A04s. One of its major pros. I think I want to talk about is the cameras. So this one has a 50 megapixel main camera. That is really good. I'll say for this price point, I think the cameras on this one are really good. You can do 1080p video on both the back and the front, and it's really good. You know, the only thing that is lacking maybe is the stabilization, but for the quality, I'm impressed for this price point. You know, it has a decent dynamic range and takes decent photos as well. The only time it really struggles is indoors. You may not get the most crisp photos. They're going to be very noisy. Otherwise, I think the quality on this is really good. The cameras, you know, for each price point, I think that's very important to know that they are really good for the price. And I would argue that for most of the phones at this price point from other companies, they're not going to be as good as this phone. You also have a macro camera, but that's not a main feature for me. But for those who really like it, it's also there, and it's decent for the most part. So that's about the cameras in this phone. They're really good for the price. Right, the other thing that I like among the pros is the speaker. I think the speaker is decent. You know, it doesn't have stereo speakers, but I think it's decent. From other brands, I think at this price point you'll be getting really crappy speakers, but I think the speaker on this is decent. It's not the loudest. It doesn't have the most bass, but it's decent for the price. You know, this is the Samsung entry phone for this year, and I think it's decent. It's a decent package. You know, the speaker, it's a mono speaker, but it's really good for the price, at least in comparison to phones within the same price range from other brands. Maybe the only brand that may do better with speakers is Xiaomi, with their Redmi series. Other than that, the speaker on this is really decent. I think I want to say that I really like about this phone is the battery. The battery is really decent, 5000 mAh, and you can easily get 2 days out of this phone if you're not like a heavy user, and an easy full day for a heavy user on this device. That's about the battery. And the other thing that I really like is the storage. The fact that you can use 2 SIM cards and an SD card. I think that's an underrated feature. Most of these higher end A-series phones are like the Galaxy S73 5G, where you can only have 2 SIM cards or 1 SIM card and an SD card, but you cannot have 2 SIM cards and an SD card. So I think this phone retaining that feature is really good. You can have your 2 SIM cards and an SD card all together at once. That's a big plus for this phone. And I know most people will be happy to use that. Given that the entry storage of these phones is really low, like 32 GB, so you can expand that with a 128 gig SD card and then have your 2 SIM cards as well comfortably without any issues. I think that's a very big plus for this phone. But the other feature that I really like is the display. On here, 720p IPS and 90 Hz. So for an entry phone, I think that's a decent package right there. And the display is also decently bright. Like for the price point, I think it's a very okay display. One of the pros of the phone. And the last feature that I want to talk about here is the fingerprint scanner. I really like the placement of this. I think this is the best position for fingerprint scanner. You know, in display fingerprint scanners are gotten good on the likes of the A73. but I think they're still not as good as the side mounted or physical scanners on these phones right here. And I like the fact that you can use these for gestures as well, like just pulling down your notification panel right here. Very nice. So I think that's it for the pros. The thing that I like about the phone. So we can talk about the cons now. The thing that I don't really like about with the cons is the haptics. So it's not like I expected this haptics for whatever phone at this price point, but yeah, I think they could have done better really. The haptics on these phones are really terrible. Like, they're not precise. When you put the phone on the table and you're typing, it's not going to be like, you will not even notice it has a haptic motor in it. Yeah, you only helped by the fact that the keyboard has a sound that it makes every time you click on a key. But yeah, the haptics are not really good. And the other thing that I'm not too much impressed with is the performance. Yeah, it's a bit lacking. It's not the best part of it. But the price is not really the worst, but I think they could have done better. You know, maybe a Snapdragon chipset, something like that. Exynos, you know its reputation. Yeah, but I think the performance is not the best on this phone. Yeah. And the other thing that is lacking is also the charging speed. I think the charging speed on here is not the best. Yeah, you only have 15 watts and it's a big battery at 5000 mAh, so it's going to take some time to charge up. So I think Samsung can make some improvements to this. At least throughout the lineup, they should have 25 watts. Yeah, so I mean that has been around for a long time, and charging speeds have gone up by far on most of the other devices. You know, 25 watts is no longer that quick either. Yeah, so I think it would be just good to have it on at least all the phones at minimum 25 watts of charging. Yeah, that would have been decent. So that's about the cons, and maybe 5G for those who are really interested in it. This phone doesn't have 5G, so it's not future proof in that case. Yeah, other than that, I think it's generally a good phone, and would I recommend it? Definitely. I think it's a decent phone. You know, decent cameras, decent speaker, and its biggest pro, the software, One UI 5, very, very good, and I have a decent display as well. So that's all about the a04s running Android 13, and I think the Android 13 update has been fine. Not many new features have been introduced, so yeah, it's mostly not different from what it was like with Android 12. So yeah, I think that's all for this review, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.